I know this is the new procedural, but I didn't realize that they were actually going to be partners. I really thought that he was going to be more behind the scenes and joking. But let's see how this plays out. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing APB Episode 2, Personal Matters. Now, Gideon's trying to accomplish something by going for a ride along this episode, and I hope it's just a ride along and that it's not going to become the regular reoccurring motif. I did like most of the supporting cast, and I do have to say one of the biggest things that's important to me is if you hurt a child or an animal, oh man, are you instantly on my shit list. That's pretty much cop show shorthand for this bad dude's got a problem. But before we go into detail, let's throw this up here. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Last week we pretty much set up the status quo, but being the pilot, it just was basically showing us where everyone was standing. We got the idea of the fact that he's an inventor. We got the idea of how the app was going to work, which, of course, that's how things work nowadays. We have an app for that. And the fact that it was spreading out. We also got the idea that Murphy was going to stay in the field and exactly what that would mean. But we also saw the drone in action for the first time, although now it's been upgraded already. And this looks to be the prop that they showed off in the behind the scenes, so I assume this is the prop we're going to see going forward. I do think that the drone looks cool. It does look a little Batman-y to me. What do you guys think of it? Do you think it looks too sci-fi, too unrealistic, or does it fit in with everything else going on in the series? Now, there is one thing I didn't notice last week. A little bit of cliche in the form of the will they won't they romance. And I have to say, I don't think it was needed in this show. Especially, I mean, bringing him home to meet her kid and then her mother. And, I mean, I think that she said it best when her mother started with the little matchmaker thing. Mom, please just don't. Doing a whole series of videos this month on why we tell romance stories, and I started off at the beginning of the month with the romantic subplot and the fact that there's lots of good reasons to do it, but it just, again, feels so cliche in this case. I think that we could have gone beyond it, or if we were going to do it, maybe introduce different characters for them. Okay, off my soapbox. Overall, the episode was pretty good. In fact, I enjoyed the play between the son and Gideon because I liked the whole idea that he's smart enough that he needs someone that's kind of more slowed down to give him the ideas he needs. I did like the explanation to the son as well. What's an engineer? He's like a superhero, only real world. Or, oh no, only better because he's in the real world. And you know what? There's part of me that actually agrees. The engineer is the unsung hero of our modern society. From everything from our cell phones to our cars, just about everything was designed by an engineer. And going with the whole engineer thing is also the other levels of science that they're using. I loved the fact that the new captain didn't quite understand how the algorithm worked, and that it was explained to him by just saying that it's kind of like Pac-Man catching the ghosts. It's one of those things. Creative problem solvers are great, and that's what scientists of all types are. That's what mathematicians are. It's one of those things that I actually feel kind of bad about watching this show, because I honestly think that in the real world we could use a little more science in the way of our crime fighting. Unfortunately, unlike in the real world, in the procedural, everything's fine at the end of the hour, and I guess that's all procedural, so I can't hold it against this one. However, all in all, this episode totally endeared itself to me, especially with the ending, because I have to say, oh, I loved dogs, and it was such a good doggy, such a good doggy. Okay, sorry. The actual ending, though, that's what really drove this for me. The mayor's put together a task force, and her ex-husband, or baby daddy, I'm not entirely sure, hate that phrase, but whatever, is in charge of it. So now they're going to be having an ongoing problem. Now that thought intrigues me. I am curious to see if this is just a fun little procedural show, or if there's some real meat on the bones. Is there something for us to dissect and see coming? Guess we're gonna have to wait and find out. For now, if you're interested in my theories and other crazy thoughts, like, share, and subscribe to my videos to help me build this community, so that we can take a walk through all of the hearts of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.